For several years now, I've carried in my heart a beautiful poem written by Danusha Lamaris titled Small Kindnesses. After describing the subtle and often unnoticed ways that we care for each other, things like saying bless you after a stranger sneezes or pulling our legs in when someone walks down a crowded aisle, the poet writes, "We have so little of each other now, so far from tribe and fire, only these brief moments of exchange. What if they are the true dwelling of the holy?" We have so little of each other now. That's the sentence that has lived with me since the day I first encountered it. The forces that keep us apart feel so much stronger than what brings us together. And even that which promises to bring us together feels flimsy or inadequate to enable the kinds of connections we most need. We have so little of each other now. Last year at Second, we began a journey with the prophet Isaiah, and with his message to the exiles returning to a place they once knew so well, but no longer even recognize, a former home transformed by generations of destruction and disregard. Our focus last year was the call to rebuild, to reconstruct, and to recreate, as Isaiah says, to raise up the foundations. This program year, we're turning our attention to Isaiah's description of the capacity of the community of faith. You will be called repairers of the breach. Now, this can feel like a lofty goal, or perhaps even an unattainable one, in a time of such disintegration, polarization, detachment, and distrust. The fabric of our common life is torn, and the institutions that were once trusted to maintain the bridges across our divisions are weakened by external attack and internal decay. The circumstances we now face have resonance with the challenge of the returning exiles, who could not simply go home and settle in, return to their normal lives. No, there was work for them to do, and there is work for us to do. The prophet promises that God is with us in this work, which will be the assurance we will need most when the task is most daunting. The objectives we'll pursue this year, cast in the light of this theme, will be to serve as a charging station for all God's people and a church for the city of Indianapolis. Both of these goals involve the work of repair, of noticing what is broken and then looking for pathways to healing and wholeness. Again, this year we'll view those objectives and all the ministries of the church through these three values, the lenses for our life together. First, the call to relationship. We'll ask ourselves in every ministry, how are we bringing people together? Second, the call to impact. What difference does our ministry make in the real lives of our members, our neighbors, our city, our world? And finally, the call to transcendence. Are we pointing beyond ourselves and to the presence of God? Each one of us, in the ministries of which we are a part and in the way we live our lives, has a role to play in this work. Now, try to remember that most repair work is gradual, slow. It builds over time. Steps must be followed. Details must be noticed. Torn fabric cannot be repaired all at once. It happens stitch by stitch. Small kindnesses, gentle words, time for listening. It is true that we have so little of each other now, but there are ways to deepen faith. There are ways to repair the divide. There are ways to practice compassion. There are ways to draw people together and then send them out with purpose and passion. In this frayed and fraught time, the work of the church has never been more vital or more valuable. We trust that our potential for good is rooted in God's providence and grace. To repair is to join the work of healing what is broken, but can be made whole again. This is holy work, and I'm grateful for the privilege of pursuing it with all of you.